you were a defender, if there is no pressure on the ball, as we're going to see here soon, would you step out?
Gentlemen, Lamine Yamal is back. He switched on his 2.0 version against Club Brugge in the Champions League. If Lamine hadn't stepped up, demanding the ball and taking charge of the game, Barcelona would probably have walked away defeated. Even Xhaka had to bow to the incredible performance of the 18-year-old prodigy. But it wasn't all sunshine and roses. Countless defensive mistakes allowed Brugge to score 3 times against Barca. And of course, Thierry Henry didn't hold back when criticizing Hansi Flick's team for their awful defensive display. That's exactly what we're going to talk about in this video. So you know what to do. Subscribe to the channel, because even with the media slamming Barcelona's defense, Hansi Flick has made it clear he's not changing his style of play. Stay with me till the end. This video is unmissable. I was honestly surprised by Club Brugge's tactical pressure. Even with less possession, they were dangerous in the final third. And it was all part of a plan, as Club Brugge's coach Nicky Hayen confirmed. "I'm very proud of the players. They executed the plan perfectly, kept compact lines, doubled up on the wings, Zolis and Forbes worked hard to contain Barcelona's fullbacks, and we made great use of the spaces. The only downside was conceding right after taking the lead. That was a lapse in concentration. Everyone saw how good Lamine is, but Says did really well. You know you have to be at your best for the full 90 minutes, and I think Joa defended extremely well," he said. With Hansi Flick's Barca, especially this season, it's hard to know how to feel after a game. The question remains, should we praise the team's fighting spirit, coming back 3 times against Club Brugge to draw 3-3, regret the 3 shots that hit the post from Fermin, Koundé and Eric that could have sealed the win, or harshly criticize a side that once again conceded goals far too easily and looked disorganized and fragile at the back? Thierry Henry didn't hold back his criticism of Hansi Flick's disastrous defense and warned that if the team keeps playing with such a weak defensive setup, they'll have little chance of winning the Champions League.
Not a chance.
Say it again.
Not a chance. As you get the ball here, you've got to be thinking about going backwards, not forwards, especially when you've got men here. I don't quite understand. If you're going to go really high, no problem, and you use this and play them offside, I understand, but I don't understand the advantage of staying here, going towards the ball.
So if you roll it now, roll it, please. Pose. That guy can see. He can pick you up. Why would you? And by the way, the coordination is so bad that Jules Koundé finds himself keeping Forbes online. But just run and control the game. Control the game defensively. You wouldn't have been in trouble. And then once again, play it, please. You have difficult.
Thierry Henry points out how extremely difficult it is to defend with such a high line. Even when using this kind of strategy, there are moments in the game when you need to quickly reorganize and drop back a bit to contain the attack, forcing the opponent out of their finishing zone. In this particular play, we see Koundé reacting slowly and getting caught behind, trying to step up into the offside line, but it's already too late. Realizing the mistake, he tries to drop back to close the gap he left, but the defense is already exposed, and the goal ends up coming within the first few minutes.
But I would like to know at that particular moment, pause, please. 16 minutes, you came back 1-1 away from home, it's already difficult. Only 2 guys running, 1 guy defending, and then once again, there's no sense of urgency of what's gonna happen. Again, they're getting done so easily, Micah. Play.
He has to delay there as long as possible.
This one is a bit more normal. It's a normal kind of situation at that moment.
To a certain degree,
yes,
because if you're gonna say it's normal, he should be here.
Yes,
and he should be here. But in terms of the line,
yes, it's
I
kind
understand
of, it's not crazy. Now, play it slowly, please. Ball's gonna go to Van Aken. So if you know your football, you know Van Aken has that pass. Now, control, pause. He's looking. That's your information. That's all you need. He's looking. So he's looking at what? What is he looking at? This guy, we can control him. You know your winger is behind you. Start to somehow kill the pass inside or stop that pass here. If he makes a pass on the outside of yourself, on your left shoulder plate, then it's a different ball game. Yes, go. That ball should never go inside the 2.
Never.
It's not possible.
The 3 goals come from the high line, and we We've been talking about that, for a year and a half now, and we said sometimes they're going to be punished. And this year, they have been punished a lot. But for Hansi Flick, it doesn't seem to be a problem because he doesn't try to cope with the situation and maybe try to correct that situation. And he carries on and he's being stubborn. And you cannot be punished that way every time because people they start to know. And as Ali said, you don't even need a perfect ball in the space. You just need to put the ball in the space, and the people at front have to go, and they're going to get the ball because nobody is there to cover, and they're going to be in front of Szczęsny in an easy way. That's not possible anymore. At that level, you have to have, again, as I always say, a second option. You can try that, but when it doesn't work, when you've been trapped once, you have to change your mind, you have to change your tactic. But the coach
The media is in shock over Hansi Flick's stubborn insistence on using a vulnerable, constantly exposed defensive line. Critics point out that this style of play has been relentlessly punishing Barcelona. In just 4 Champions League matches, Barca has already dropped the same number of points as in the entire group stage of last season, 5. The start has been anything but smooth. The team has struggled to build from the back and has piled up passing errors that disrupt the game's rhythm. To make matters worse, the squad once again showed its usual lack of focus when playing with such a high defensive line, a recurring issue in recent weeks. The whole narrative of regaining focus and intensity after the win over Elche collapsed in the blink of an eye. Defensively, this Barcelona side is at the moment a bad joke. De Jong isn't exactly thrilled about conceding so many goals in so many matches either. I think we should have won the match, but obviously we still have a lot to improve, he admitted, recognizing that there are things we need to fix. We know that, we're working on it, but we can't always translate that into our performances on the field, and that's part of the problem. De Jong explained, "We're a bit weak on the counter-attack because of issues with marking, high pressing, and defensive positioning. It's a little bit of everything." When asked about comparisons with last season's team, he was clear, "We have to leave last year behind. We weren't the best team in Europe last season either, so last year's performance doesn't matter. We need to improve. We didn't win the Champions League and we conceded too many goals last year, so we have to get better. It's not just about not conceding. If you give up 3 goals, it's very hard to win."
And then you can run. You can run if you want. What are you running for? But it's this game. It's against Paris Saint-Germain. Last year it was against Benfica, and then it's against this, and then it was a Classico against it's Inter. And as we all know, like I played for Arsenal, I played for Juve. I won a lot of stuff at Barcelona. So for me to say that, it pains me to say that because I don't want to talk about my old club like that. But you have to call a spade a spade. You can't carry on defending like this. Every time hoping to score 3 to 4 to beat a team. Not now, not in the modern era of football. You can't defend like that. That's me personally.
Barca keeps falling into its own trap day after day. The start of the match was historic for all the wrong reasons. Barca had never conceded 2 goals in the first 16.5 minutes of a Champions League game. Flick's defensive problems are glaring and alarming. The team has conceded at least 1 goal in each of its last 9 matches across all competitions, 14 goals total. Their worst defensive run since March 2013, 13 games, 21 goals. Despite these discouraging stats, Flick continues to favor a high defensive line, but it's just not working anymore. That's the feeling, and the numbers back it up. Against Club Brugge, Barca managed to catch the Belgian side offside only once, and they failed to win despite scoring 3 goals, just like in both legs of last season's Champions League semi-final against Inter Milan. Not to mention the La Liga match at Montjuic against Real Madrid, where Barca needed 4 goals to win, final score 4-3. The fragility of Barcelona's defensive system has now become a widespread concern throughout Europe. Prominent figures like Henry and Kroos recently said that playing this way is counterproductive, and yesterday Gullit called their playing style kamikaze. Thierry Henry expressed frustration with Hansi Flick's defensive setup and lamented seeing Barcelona depend on scoring so many goals just to win. For the former player, it's unsustainable for a team with such high ambitions to rely on its attack to compensate for such a weak, dreadful, and vulnerable defensive system. If you think Hansi Flick has a plan B or intends to listen to media criticism and change his playing style, you're mistaken. The German doesn't listen to anyone. Even Laporta recently commented that Flick is extremely stubborn. Once he has something in his head, it's almost impossible to convince him otherwise. After the match, Flick said, It wasn't easy. We created chances. They played very well. They were aggressive, as we expected. We're Barca, and we want to play our football. We can talk about changing everything, but I'm not that kind of coach. We'll play according to our DNA. We're not going to sit back in our own half and try to counterattack for a 1-0 win. The midfield didn't press enough, we lost possession too often, and it wasn't easy for the backline to deal with their quick attacks. Still, he did call for improvement from his defenders, admitting that the backline needs to improve. For Flick, the main takeaway was clear. When there's no intensity, you don't stand a chance in the Champions League. Will he change tactics? We didn't press well in midfield, and if you don't win your duels, it's not easy for the backline to defend against fast players. We have to analyze everything, talk to the players, and try to improve. When asked if a tactical shift was needed, the coach refused to compromise Barcelona's footballing identity. We can defend in the final third, but we'll stick to our philosophy because we can do better. Last year, that 1-0 goal would have been ruled 2 meters offside, but we want to test our ideas. The 3-3 draw isn't the best result for us, but the positive takeaway is that we managed to react after they went ahead 3 times. Of course, we need to talk about it. We know this isn't our best moment, but I'll take it positively and believe that after the break, when Joan Garcia, Rafinha and Pedri are back and Olmo and Lewandowski are at a higher level, we'll improve. Asked once more whether it was time to rethink the system, Flick closed the press conference with a firm message of conviction. I'm not going to repeat myself. The way forward is not to change. We are Barca. Our football is about being active and playing with intensity, with and without the ball. We have to work on that. And when everyone's back from injury, we'll see how things go.
I was a former defender, and I knew every time the guy in front of me who had the ball, the opponent had the ball, and was looking away to know where to give the ball, I knew that I had to stop and make a little drop to make sure that there is no ball in the space. That's an automatic answer to him watching and knowing what he can do. You have to protect yourself. What I see from Barcelona, even if the guy looks like that, they go further up. That's absolutely insane. That's a real suicide. Now, having said that, I'm a defender. I'm Frank Leboeuf, lucky to play for Barcelona under Hansi Flick. How do I behave? I think I end up on the bench because I'm going to go to Hansi Flick and say, I'm sorry, I'm not playing the fool. I'm not playing like that. I'm not being ridiculous. So I'm sorry. Find me another club or put me on the bench because I don't want to play like that, because that doesn't serve me. Because you said you're insulting bad defending. You're insulting the players. The 4 players playing at the back, they are insulted by Hansi Flick tactic.
I understand Hansi Flick, and honestly, despite his stubbornness, I like the confidence and conviction with which he stands by his ideas. Flick fully believes in his tactical system and will do everything in his power to improve the team and get Barcelona back on track. We just hope it doesn't happen too late because the current situation is far from good and Flick needs to adjust the team's play quickly. What about you? What do you think of Barcelona's dreadful defense? Is Flick right to stick to his playing style? Now, you're probably expecting us to talk about Lamine Yamal, but the video's already running long. So check out the media's reaction, which went absolutely crazy over Lamine Yamal's performance in the video on your screen. Xhaka couldn't hold back his excitement over the kid's return and said it plainly, he's simply brilliant.